Welcome back to Old School Sports and our game with the New York Islanders in Franchise Hockey Manager 8. We are at the start of the 2022 season. Just finished our last preseason game, and you can see that Matthew Barzell is the league leader in the preseason in goals and tied for the league lead in points. So hopefully that is a sign of good things to come. We have not made the final cuts for our roster yet, so we'll be cleaning up the roster after having a lot of extra people get a little action with the team during the preseason. And once we've made the cuts, we'll see if there's anything interesting that comes through waivers and then get a start on the brand new season. Well, we are at opening night. We're at New Jersey this evening, and then we will be home against Arizona tomorrow. So should get to see both Sorokin and Varlamov in the first two games of the year, which will be good. Made it through the last week relatively unscathed until Bavoulier, who, as you know, missed the end of last season with a serious injury, bruised his foot in our final practice. So we will be putting him on the injured list, but hopefully he'll only miss a few games. We did use the waiver wire to kind of round out the roster a bit. We picked up Justin Hull from the waiver wire to kind of serve as a defenseman for us. Thought he was a little better than the youngster that we had up before him. And then more recently, we added a center on the waiver wires also. 23-year-old Robert Thomas was cut by the defending champion St. Louis Blues. So we are going to give him a shot with the big team here. It was pretty productive for them last season in 75 games. A little surprised to see a player that young cut. So we are going to add him to the squad, or we have added him to the squad, and hopefully he will contribute for us this year. So we are going to put Bavuli. Boy, my pronunciation is just struggling all of a sudden. I must be tired. But we will send him to the injury list and pick up somebody from the minors to fill that spot for us, and then it will be off to the start of the 2022-2023 season for the New York Islanders. Well, the month of October is over, and we've gotten off to a slow start. You can see we're 3-5-1, so not the rousing start out of the gates that we were hoping for. We did get Bouvillier back a couple of games ago, so he is in the lineup. You can see he's only played 2 games for us and hasn't really done much of anything. Our new assistant captain, after we traded away Brock Nelson, Matthew Barzell, has gotten off to a nice start, however, with 4 goals, 7 assists, and 11 points through his first 9 games. So we'll see if we can get a little stronger in the coming weeks, as a lot of new players have an opportunity to spend a little more time getting to know one another. When we look at team chemistry, still generally pretty happy. When we look at our job security, however, we're definitely trending in a negative direction. The season objective is a rebuild, so I think the owner would still like to make the playoffs, but if we make some progress, hopefully that's a positive thing for us. But it would be good to start stringing together a few wins in a row over the month of November. Well, we've made it to December, and we've also had a really good month. Over the last month, our record is 10-2-2, putting us at 13-7-3 on the relatively young season. So definitely right in the mix of the playoff race. If the season were to end today, we would be in the playoffs. So hopefully that means that some of the moves that we've made are beginning to pay off. Well, the calendar has flipped to 2023, and December was not a great month for us. 5-6-2 record. Still absolutely in the playoff mix when you look at the Eastern Conference here with us at 41 points. We're right on the borderline of being in the playoffs. Would like to play better going forward in the second half of this season. As we kind of look at the rest of our roster, going to be a lot of big decisions for us this offseason that we've started thinking about. Big decision number one, Matthew Barzell, making $7 million this year. Recently made him assistant captain and the most talented player on our team, easily having a good solid season with 13 goals and 22 assists almost halfway through the year, even though he has been banged up a little bit off and on. That's going to be one huge decision that we need to make this off season. And then the other huge decision that we will have coming up for us is the veteran goalie, who is having a better year than last year with a goals against average half a goal lower and a higher save percentage, but his record is still only .500. Probably going to be looking for some decent money, I would imagine, from Varlamov. So we will have to see what we decide on that front. I believe at this point Sorokin is certainly the one that I view as our number one goalie at this point. He is signed for next year, as you can see, so he will absolutely be back next season. The question is whether he will have a new buddy that he will be sharing the pipes with or not. Well, we just had a second straight not so good month. You can see our record was 4-7-3 in January, so that's really disappointing. We are outside of the playoffs right now with only 52 points through 51 games, so we still have plenty of time left with 31 games left on the schedule, but we're going to have to start playing better right now to make this run successful. Another month is in the books as it turns to March of 2023. Team played a bit better during February, going 6-4-1. We still are on the outside looking in, though, when it comes to the playoffs. With 21 games left, just 64 points. Need to string together some more wins and play a little better to achieve our goal. We're hanging in there. We're better than we were a year ago, but not good enough thus far. Injuries have become a bigger issue than we hoped. We have two starting defensemen in Andrew Peak and Sean Walker have been on the injured list for a while now, and Ryan Pollock is also injured right now with a day-to-day injury. So our blue liners are hurting, but we're doing the best to hang in there and hopefully make a push for the playoffs. Well, we've made it to April, played a little better in the month of March, 7-5-2 over our last 14 games, but as we're heading into the home stretch, we're not eliminated yet, but with 7 games to go, probably need to win at least 6 of them to have any chance at getting into the playoffs. So we are going to have to be nearly perfect down the stretch, starting today against Buffalo, a team that we are chasing. Probably not going to catch them given that they're up 10 points on us with a game in hand at this late stretch of the season. But we got to win some games, so let's see how it goes. We did get the W against Buffalo, 3-1, so that was one good step in the right direction for us until we play again. Only have one player left on the injury list right now, so the hope is that we're going to be fighting with as full a hand as we can when we have these last 6 games on our schedule. You can see Dobson is just about ready. still day to day, still going to let him sit out for hopefully this one last game. We'll see what we can do against Chicago. No excuses. Got to just keep winning. Oof, 3-0 loss. Very difficult for us. Probably have to be perfect at this point for the last 5 games of the season. And we just lost Austin Watson for the rest of the year in all probability, unless we somehow sneak into the playoffs and then go on a decent playoff run. So 5 games left now. The Rangers are one of the teams we're chasing. We're not going to catch them, but we certainly need to beat them on the road at MSG. Ugh, 6-5 loss. Probably just about eliminated us officially. Have to do the math to see if we are still in the mix. I think we technically are, but we need to be perfect, and we're also at the point of the season where we need Carolina to lose every game, and actually we still wouldn't have as many wins as them. So I think we may have technically been eliminated by that one. We'll keep chugging along, try to finish as strong as possible. It would be good to finish well at Tampa Bay today, and then home against Tampa Bay tomorrow. Try to get as many points as we can. You can see we got the W on the road there. Bavillier had a really big game for us. 3 goals, 2 assists. It seems like it's too little too late at this point, unfortunately. But we will keep plugging along and try to win as many as we can as we close things out. So after winning on the road, we lost at home to Tampa Bay, and I think we were mathematically out of it anyways, but now we absolutely are out of it. Disappointing end to the season. We'll sim the last few games here and then circle back with some thoughts. Well, we won our final 2 games to finish at 39, 33, and 10 with 88 points. That's good improvement from last season. But we were the first team out of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. You can see we needed 6 more points to be tied with Carolina for that final playoff spot in the East. So certainly made progress, but disappointing to get so close and miss the playoffs. You can see Sorokin had an excellent season for us. 2.39 goals against average, which was 3rd in the league, and his record was 24, 17, and 4. So really strong in the games that he played in front of the net. In the games that he did not play, though, doing a little simple math, that means our record was 15, 16, and 6. So definitely we'll have Sorokin back, but one of the big questions for this offseason is going to be what we do with Varlamov. You can see he was 12, 16, and 6 for us over the course of the season. So certainly not exactly what we were looking for from our expensive goaltender. And as I mentioned earlier, the other big decision we will have will be with what Barzell is looking for in terms of a contract. You can see he had a really nice year for us. 35 goals, 43 assists, 78 points in 79 games. Game rating of 70. Kind of looking a little more deeply at the roster. We can see that Barzell easily led the team in points. Bavillier, 22 goals, 26 assists for 48 points. Peugeot, Wallstrom, Anders Lee, and one of our new acquisitions, Tanev, were the top scorers, along with Palmieri, who missed some time towards the end of the year. But 35 points, being among your top 6 or 7 scorers, is definitely not what we were looking for. Did show some improvement this year. A lot of players positive in the plus minus, notably both Pelech and Pollock. So that's positive to see that our two expensive stay-at-home defensemen are getting the job done and being productive when they are out there. Thinking more broadly about the team, injury list, Eriksson Ek, one of the players who thought was going to probably make a bigger difference as a free agent acquisition in the previous offseason. You can see only had 11 goals and 15 assists and was minus 14 for us. So definitely a disappointing season for Eriksson Ek. So we certainly have some work to do in the coming off season. Disappointing that we couldn't make it into the playoffs this year. But that being said, you look at where we were a year ago, and it's definite progress for us to have improved as much as we did. I think last season, where is our record? There's our record. You can see we improved a lot. 69 points last season to 88 points this year, so we're moving in the right direction. Big question will be whether we end up getting fired after this season is complete. But I feel like we did make some progress, so hopefully we'll get to come back for the 23-24 season. Looking at job security, fan happiness is not good, but our objective was to rebuild, and we ended the season with 19 more points than we did a year ago. So from that perspective, hopefully we will be back next year, and we will be back with another episode soon. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying things, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe. If you've got any thoughts or comments, would love to hear them below. Take care.